What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Monday. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the headline. You know what we're talking about today. We're talking about the fucking Snyder Cut, baby. And yeah, I'm excited about talk about that because it's been a while since we've had some huge updates about that. And we're also going to talk about a Wonder Woman 1984 update, and we're going to talk about a Suicide Squad update. Little updates, not a lot to talk about in the news, so it's going to be a little bit of a shorter video. D23 is coming up, so on the Marvel Disney side of things, we'll talk about more of that later this week when more news comes out from D23. But until then, we're talking about DC today. So quick updates before we get into the main Snyder Cut topic. Let's talk about James Gunn's Suicide Squad. It looks like it adds an actor, Flula Borg, in a mysterious role. Now, Flula Borg, I have no idea who that guy is. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I went ahead and looked up some of the movies that he has been in. Buddy Moon in 2016, not sure what that is. Pitch Perfect 2, I'm not interested in watching. Ralph Breaks the Internet, surprisingly I haven't watched it yet. I do plan on watching it eventually. I saw the first one, it was pretty good. Boss Baby, I heard was okay. I haven't watched it, I'm not sure. I can't promise you guys I would watch that. Trolls World Tour, Dirty 30, yeah, see, I really don't know who this guy is, but Flula Borg, seems like he's in more comedies than anything. Not sure how good of an actor he is, but I'm not sure if his role is going to actually entail that. I have a feeling it's going to be a really small role anyway. So it's a mysterious role in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, so not much to get excited about here. But everything that's been coming out of this movie seems to be smooth sailing. No one's there's no controversy really so far. So yeah, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. If you guys are familiar with this actor, let me know. Wonder Woman 1984, there's a behind-the-scenes photo that came out that's pretty interesting. So I'm looking at Heroic Hollywood here, and I know Heroic Hollywood puts out a lot of clickbaity stuff, but sometimes it does a good job of summarizing some of the stuff I want to talk about. So we got this behind-the-scenes photo of an Amazonian here. So it looks like the actress is Rosanna Walls. And as you can see in the little caption here, it says hashtag Wonder Woman 1984, photo by Rosanna Walls, or maybe I'm not sure which one, who's pictured here. But it says Amazon in the Canary Islands shoots of Bana Migdal, I think. Yeah, I don't know how to say that, guys. Don't crucify me. But Bana Migdal, you know, if you guys are Wonder Woman fans and you're familiar with this group of Amazonians, please let me know and correct me in the comments. But according to this article, or according to Comic Book Movie, the Bana Migdal were a group who parted ways with the Amazons of Themyscira thousands of years ago in hopes of seeking revenge against the men who destroyed their people. Because the Bana Migdal ultimately settled in Egypt, some fans are suspecting transformation of Kristen Wiig's Dr. Barbara Minerva into Cheetah. It could be tied to the group, considering the character is an archaeologist. Makes total sense. And this, you know, this, as you can see from the apparel here, I'm gonna say it's not as cool looking as the Amazonian outfits from Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, or even Justice League. Not as cool, but it would make sense that they're from a different group that's separated from the Amazonians, because it's just a good way to distinct them, I guess, to this different costume. Or it could be just the aesthetic of the movie itself. I'm not sure. You know, maybe you guys know more than me. Let me know what you guys think of this costume, and let me know if you think that this theory from that Comic Book Movie is suggesting that they're the group who parted ways with Themyscira and have something to do with Barbara Minerva's transformation into Cheetah. Really interesting. Still, we haven't gotten what we want to see yet, which is obviously we want to see Cheetah and how Cheetah looks like when she's moving. So that's really exciting. Wonder Woman 1984, I'm excited about it. Hopefully we get more updates soon. Okay, moving on to the main topic of this video. Definitely, it has to do with the Snyder Cut, and it's been a while since we talked about the Snyder Cut on the channel. You know, I've seen the comments, guys. I read your comments. I know we got a ton of supporters for the Snyder Cut and fans of Zack Snyder on this channel, and I know we got a group of people as well that are just looking forward to seeing what's coming forward. What are we to expect? They don't want to keep watching news based on something that we may never get, or maybe they don't want. You know, to be fair, there's some people on here that maybe don't want the Snyder Cut. I'm not one of them. I'm one of the guys who's championing the Snyder Cut for sure. And if you're wondering why we're talking about the Snyder Cut, you can watch Jason Momoa's Instagram video here, and then let's talk about it.
Got my glasses ready. See something.
Don't worry about it. All right. Okay. Okay, listen. To the world, there's two things that Zach has given me, aside from friendship. One, him and Mark Twight give me a massive passion for shooting Leicas.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You shoot all your stuff on Leicas. That's the reason I've basically followed in your footsteps. Love it on every level, film, digital. Two, I wouldn't be here today in my career if it wasn't for him, because he made Aquaman. He gave me that opportunity, called me into your office. Forever indebted to you, your family. You know that. I love you. I love you both. And so this is just a token of my appreciation, because I love you, and I rarely get to see you, and we talk from afar.
Embarrassing.
But but we will work together for the rest of our lives, and your family. And so close your eyes.
Cover them or close them? I'm gonna cover them because I'm gonna pee.
Okay. Open your eyes. Here you go, boss.
What?
It's Q2.
Oh fuck.
Brand new Leica. Oh, I just bought Zack Snyder a brand new Q2. What's up? Man, it's got tons of Leicas, so I'm like,
I don't have this.
I know. I just gotta get you that. There's no card in it, but I mean, it's.
All right. Oh my lord.
But it's the new Q2, man, and it's freaking epic.
Oh, it's beautiful. You kidding me? Fucker.
So there you see the video. Let's first start off by reading the caption from Pride of Gypsies, which is Jason Momoa on Instagram. He says, Snyder Cut. So obviously he hasn't bothered to change that or edit that yet. It says, well, let's be honest, if it wasn't for this man, we wouldn't have Aquaman. I love you, Zachary Snyder. Mahalo for showing me the Snyder Cut. Here's a token of my appreciation. Like a Q2 for inspiring me as an artist through and through. I wish I was a better actor, but I can't lie. The Snyder Cut is sick. Hashtag lucky for me, sucks for you. Hashtag Q2. Hashtag Leica for life. And first of all, Leica cameras, incredibly expensive. If you guys didn't know, Leicas are German-made cameras. I believe every Leica camera is like handmade, super high quality. I'm actually filming on like a Panasonic Leica lens, but it's not really full Leica. But all Leica's branded stuff, super expensive, really high quality, and I'm pretty jealous. And as you guys know, Zack Snyder likes to do photography. That looks to be one of his hobbies, and he has a huge collection of cameras, as does Jason Momoa. If you follow him on Instagram or his YouTube channel, he is like in love with cameras and filmmaking, and he's just a student of the game. So him gifting Zachary Snyder with the newest Leica, that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty jealous. Now, I'm also jealous of this guy because he got to see the Snyder Cut. Obviously in the video he's thanking Zack Snyder for casting him in the role, something he's eternally grateful for, because we wouldn't have Aquaman without him. Zack Snyder's casting in the DCEU has been incredible. Everyone he's cast has been spot on. You know, you can argue about the Flash, and you can even nitpick about other little things, but for the most part, I've been a fan of Zack Snyder's casting in the DCU. So he says the Snyder Cut is sick. And this goes to just the reason why this was big and why it actually excites me is not because it's confirmation that it exists. We all knew that it exists. All the naysayers had to, shut their mouths. People in the comment section, keyboard warriors arguing that we were idiots for believing that the Snyder Cut exists. It exists, and it's been proven by multiple people. And Jason Momoa was one of the biggest proponents of the Snyder Cut for the longest time. You can see in old interviews. It looks like he was trying to hold back from actually saying it, but he just said, F it, man. Yeah, I support the Snyder Cut. I want to see it. And it looks like now he has officially seen it. I'm not sure where Zack Snyder might have shown it to him, but it looks like with this meeting here, Zack Snyder had shown Jason Momoa the Snyder Cut. And it's kind of funny that he described it with just one word, sick, and it was a word that was really drawn out with more I's and C's than it actually needed, but it captures perfectly probably what he felt when watching the movie, just kind of like how I felt when watching Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and any other Zack Snyder movie that has his aesthetic stamp on it, you know, because, you know, I was just flipping through my Netflix account, or I was flipping through Netflix or Amazon, whatever streaming service I was on last night, looking for something to just watch, and I look at some things like I first had on what I had on the latest Thor movie, Ragnarok, and then I switched it over to 300 because I saw 300 on Amazon, I think, and I was just like, wow, this came out in 2007, and this guy changed the game as far as what you can do with action, and the aesthetic that he brought to the movie was just out of this world and different, and it had his own imprint on it, and I don't think there's any other filmmaker that can capture action like he does. So for him to describe Justice like that is exciting, and hopefully we all get to see it one day. But you know, with him describing it like that, that's exactly the type of reaction I was hoping and expecting for someone who has seen it, because when you see the trailer that he dropped and you hear about him talk about the movie, and then you see the work he's done on Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, the Justice League that came out in the theaters totally was meh compared to what we expected coming out of that movie. And again, to be fair, you know, we haven't seen the Justice League Snyder Cut ourselves, so we don't know ourselves if we're gonna like it or not. But all signs point to me, as a Zack Snyder fan, point to me loving the movie and absolutely being blown away by the action that I know Zack Snyder could bring. So for him to come out and say this may potentially lead other people who've seen it to maybe speak out on it. And I know there are other people who have already, but this is going to definitely keep the conversation going. And it's, you know, it's hopefully going to get more buzz for the Snyder Cut. And again, I know people, like I said, there's a lot of people who are tired of hearing about this, but you know, if we don't make any noise, then we can't make any change happen. So what we need to do is make this, you know, basically bookend this chapter of the DCU. I'm not saying that I believe that Zack Snyder's ever going to work on Justice League again or work on any future DCU movies. While that would be cool, I just want to see what he had produced for the Justice League that I was excited for, because what we got on screen definitely was not what Zack Snyder wanted to put out. It was probably way far from it, and of course there's so much footage cut, but to know that there's a cut that he has that's out there, you know, despite any visual effects not being complete yet, I want to see what he was going to bring to the table. You do that, you can close the book on this. I'll be a happy man. Whether it's a good or bad movie, it looks like it's a sick movie. Whether it's good or bad, I want to see what the director had in mind. That's just that. You know, people get mad at me on this channel sometimes for harping on this Snyder Cut movement, but you know, for all you guys, you fans out there of Zack Snyder and his movies that he's put out in DCU, I think it's just some way to bookend Zack Snyder's work with the DCU, and it's just like it's something that the fans, I think, deserve, having been fans and given Warner Brothers so much of their money. Now, some people will argue that fans don't deserve anything. I would argue the opposite. So Warner Brothers, man, you need to release this Snyder Cut. Give it to the fans. I think you'll earn a lot of respect back from the fans if you do so. And again, I do believe at some point we will get it. It's just we got to keep this conversation going. We got to keep the pressure on. And yeah, shout outs to all the channels that keep talking about it, because you know, it's definitely not something that's not covered on huge movie channels too much. And of course, there's a lot of naysayers. I just actually watched Film God's video this morning while I was at work. Film God was he was showcasing like the John Campias of this world, and Robert Meyer Burnett, who I'm a big fan of, man. I like that guy. And when he spotlighted the fact that he didn't really believe that there was a cut, he called people ignorant for believing that there was. It's kind of disheartening. And even for people like me who disagree with a lot of people, I can always take in people's thoughts and opinions on the matter, but ultimately I have my own, and I think that this cut exists. It looks sick, and I am ready to see this, man. Release the Snyder Cut. So that's it, guys, for this video. I actually started rambling, and I don't know how long this video is going to turn out now, longer than I probably expected, but I was just excited that one of the Justice League members has seen the cut and is keeping the conversation going surrounding Justice League. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, obviously, please like the video. Please subscribe, share with some friends, and I'll catch you guys later this week. Peace.